Hey and welcome to Lasa. Today we're going to be doing the assembly of our CASA-DOG. This is the box. Let's get started by opening it up. For step 1, we're going to require parts 1 and 2. We're also going to require 4 pieces of part G, which is the screw-in legs. So we're going to be inserting these legs at the bottom of part 1, and then we're also going to be inserting it at the bottom of part 2. So once you've completed unscrewing the legs, your legs should look something like this. For step 2, using our completed part 1 and 2, we're going to require 2 parts of part 13. We're also going to require 8 of our E-screws, our tapping E-screws, with Allen key which is provided. So what we're going to do, we're going to take, as you'll see on part 13, it has 2 holes on each of the narrow sides. Right, so we want to align these with the 4 holes on this side and that side. Our second part, once again paying careful attention to the holes on each side, aligning them up. So once you've completed screwing in part 13 on all 4 sides, you should have a completed piece that looks something like this and tightened on 4 different ends. For step 3, you're going to require your 2 completed passes of 1 and 2. You're also going to require part 3, 4, 5 and 6. And then you're also going to require 8 of the longer B screws and then the thicker Allen key which is provided. So starting, if you look on part 1, you want to have the inners on the inside, and you want to start on the left hand side. As you can see, this is where the 2 screw points are. You want to start on the left hand side. Okay, so using this one, and on the left hand side we're going to start with our beam 6, and as you'll note on here, beam 6 has 2 holes closer on one end and the other side doesn't. So using this side facing up, we're going to begin on this end. We're then going to start with part 5. So with part 5, we're going to make sure that the one with the 2 holes, the part with the 2 holes is up here. And we're going to begin screwing it on this side at the bottom as well. So we then tighten the bottoms. We're then going to require part 4, and on part 4 once again we want to make sure it's the top side with 3 holes. So the top side with 3 holes, we're going to make sure that the the closest hole on this side is the one that fits onto part 1. Okay, so we're going to get our screw again. So once that's been tightened, we can go for our last piece, part 3. And then once again on part 3, there's 2 holes on the top. And we'll make sure this is facing up before we begin screwing it in. So once we've completed installing our 4 bars correctly, paying attention to where the hole mounts are, which direction they're facing, we should have them look something like this once connected to part 1 and to part 2. It should be a basic outer frame. For step 4, we're going to require part 7, which is a shorter pole. We're also going to require, once again, 2 of our B screws, the thicker B screws and our thicker Allen key. So for step 4, what we want to be doing is on part 6, the side hole on the side, not on the top, please note. It's these holes here. We're going to be using these ones and we're putting across part 7 as a cross beam. Okay, so once we've connected the crossbar and screwed in both ends, that should be the end of step 4. For step 5, we're going to require our completed parts. We're also going to require part 11, and then we're going to require 4 of our D screws and 2 of our longer C bolts. We're also going to require our longer Allen keys. So we're going to put it down set on part 2 so that part 5 is closest towards us and part 6 is on the outer side. So paying attention to the board, you will notice that on the right hand side of the board it has 3 4 holes. This is the part that you want to be resting onto part 6. So accordingly, we're going to take this board, close it in, slide it in there, then we're going to lift it. So we're going to be mounting part D, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our part C's will be mounted in here and here. Okay, so we've inserted the first part D. We're then going to proceed to screw in the second one. Okay, so once you've screwed in all of your D screws, we can start with the longer C's. We'll move into the first hole. Okay, so once that's been completed, the underneath of your CASA-DOG should look like this. You should have 4 bolts into the D and only 2 into C. There should be nothing on part 5 as yet. For step 6, you're going to require part 12 and you're going to require 2 part F screws, tap-in screws, and the smaller Allen key. Okay, so we want to take note that on part 12, on the side, it has 2 smaller holes for our screws to go in there. Okay, so please taking note to the last step, we left 2 holes open on the one side. Lift it up. Slide the screw. Okay, so once that's done, we're going to be moving to our side, making sure to align the holes. Tighten and bring it all. You're going to finish. So once you've completed screwing in part 12, you should have it screwed in just on these two ends, and that will be the end of the step. Step 7, we're going to require 6 E-screws and our thinner Allen key. We're going to continue on our part 12, which we were still installing. You will notice on the other sides there's 6 holes where the 6 screws fit in, namely here, 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 one there, and one there. Once we've inserted all 6 of our E-screws at those locations, you should see that our part 12 is firmly intact, and that will bring us to the end of step 7. For step 8, we're going to require part 10. We're going to require our C-screws, 5 of them, and then the thicker Allen key. Okay, so on this step, what you want to do is under your part 10, you want to pay careful attention to where the mountings are of this corner here, these 2 holes here. You want to make sure that they connect onto part 1 and part 4 onto this corner. Will be the only other corner with 2 holes. So we want to put it and align it to the top and the entire thing. And our first one. To the 5th hole on the one side. We're then going to want to pay careful attention to the open side. Underneath here, you will see this hole here. The last hole on here is where we're going to insert it in. So this will bring us to the completion of step 8. For step 9, you're going to require parts 8 and 9. You're also going to require part 14 and part 15. And we're going to require our 8 part E tap-in screws with our smaller Allen key. Okay, so immediately on looking at the 2, parts 8 and 9, you'll notice that part 8 has the need for the smaller wood, and part 9 for the bigger wood. Next, we'll be moving on to part 15, into part 9. We're once again going to put it in. Like the previous times, we're going to take note of the mounting holes on either end. Once installing parts 14 and 15 into 8 and 9, we should have our gates looking something like this. For step 10, we're going to require our complete half-completed unit and also part 14. We're then going to require 2 parts of the A screws and 2 of the B screws. Making sure on part 8 that your lock is facing the outside. What we're going to do, we're going to mount the 2 A screws on the top and the 2 B screws at the bottom. Okay, we're then also going to require our part H's, which would be the anti-vibration strips. So the anti-vibration strips on this one is just on the top and the bottom. Pull off the sticker on them. And we're going to slowly put it on there. Okay, we got our second piece. So we can put it on there. For part 11, we're going to require part 15, which is our door. We're also going to require 4 D-screws and the thicker Allen key. Okay, to start off, what we're going to do is we're going to look on the gate itself, the hinges on the side. We're going to get the hinges out. The hinges, we're going to slide the gate into position so that it holds itself. We're then going to use our left hand gently to raise it. So we want to make sure to screw in. Okay, so once you've completed in that, you're going to want to make sure that the door is able to latch and unlatch, and also seeing that there's a smooth movement in opening the door. You also have a smooth finish right through, all over on all sides. That brings us to the ending of the assembly video for our CASA-DOG. Please visit www.lasa.africa for more of our wonderful products.